Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Attorney Tom Fisher telling KUAM News his contract to provide legal services to Manamko ended, and it happened all of a sudden.
There was only about a week left on it, and then out of the blue, on March 25th, they sent us a letter, stop work immediately. So that's what we did.
Fisher tells KUAM News he's worried about the interruption of services his office has been providing senior citizens for years under the Calvo Tenorio administration.
We've got people out there who need protective orders. Unfortunately, the abuse of elderly is quite a problem. People need orders, protective orders. There are court hearings coming up, and we have been told not to do it.
Meanwhile, Public Health Division of Senior Citizens head Art St. Augustine says Fisher's contract was cut because the department had to find a better way to get returns on the $192,000 it spends every year on the legal services contract, with Chamorros constituting the largest number of manamko clients.
Because of the numbers that he's reporting and that we're not meeting the needs of the clients, we really have to go look and figure out how we can better serve our seniors.
St. Augustine says Fisher assists about 179 manamko clients a year, but the waiting list for legal services numbers about 500. St. Augustine says the Division of Senior Citizens is working on an MOU with the Public Defender Service Corporation and other legal services corporations. St. Augustine saying the Public Defender says it can service double the clients Fisher does for the same amount of money.
I can't say that we're not getting our money's worth, Chris. That would not be a fair statement, simply because what we are getting is what we have entered into. And so that's why the division had to pull back and reassess how we're doing business.
St. Augustine says the transition from Fisher's office to the Public Defender should go smoothly, but Fisher says some of the manamko he's assisted didn't get the memo.
And they're just bewildered. How can it be, that you've just set up Fisher, you just set up an appointment for me, and now I come in the door and you say, you can't talk to me. How can that be? I think people probably expect a little bit more from the Department of Public Health.
Fisher also tells KUAM News he hasn't been paid since October of 2018, and that is starting to take its toll.
GovGuam is notoriously late in paying vendors. That's not going to come as a surprise to anyone. I hate to attribute this to a new administration or anything, because it's I'm sure they're having cash issues up there. But this is a little bit longer than normal. 6 months. I mean, that's a half a contract price that I've had to absorb personally.
While St. Augustine says Fisher's payments for November, December will be processed, he adds since Fisher's contract was stop work ordered, Fisher will have to seek payment for this year by working through the government claims process, something Fisher says will take months.
We do know that Attorney Fisher and his staff and firm have provided services. We would support the claim.
Fisher, who was the Bota campaign counsel and personal lawyer for former Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio in his gun grab case, received notice of his contract being cut the day after the verdict in the Ray Tenorio trial came out. We asked St. Augustine if the contract being cut had anything to do with Fisher's work representing the administration's political opponent in the 2018 general election.
Oh, that Chris, I no comment to that. I'm not sure. This was a decision that was made at the department level. The letter just happened to be issued that day, and it was just really truly a matter of coincidence. It was not, we didn't even, I'm sorry to say, I'm not coordinating my schedules with what's happening with the former Lieutenant Governor's verdict.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.